Yep, there you go. It just takes a second for the record button to kick in. Welcome, everybody, to Healthy Life Hacks, the U webinar hosted by me, Marguerite Insco, and Clark Incorporated, represented by Victor Clark here. We are excited about today's session because every month Victor and I, or people within our team, come and bring great marketing strategies and ideas and tips and tools and everything like that to people that want to hear from us. And this time we're not talking about marketing. This time we're talking about what is it that can bring more peace, joy, and productivity in your life and make you a more successful business person. So that is what we have on the lineup for this next hour, and I'm excited that the person involved in here is Lisa Jackson, but I'm not going to introduce her. Victor is. I do want to recap, though, for those of us that don't know so much about our business or our businesses. Relaunch You is an inbound marketing agency, and we specialize in B2B marketing. What we do is we help companies make their website a lead generation tool, and we help them nurture those leads through all the way to the sales process. We are a partner with HubSpot, and we just really, really love what we do because it's all about permission-based marketing and help-based marketing. And we have partnered with Clark Incorporated and them with us because we find we have complementary for a lot of people. Now, they specialize in marketing media, digital and print. I'm going to let Victor share that a little bit more, but we've enjoyed this relationship we've had over this year in many different levels, both as customers of each other or clients of each other, and then partners bringing these kind of things to our customer base. So before I hand it over to Victor, just a few housekeeping rules to make this easy for everyone. I'm going to keep everybody muted. I might unmute you if there's like a conversation we'd like to have with you. It just ensures that we don't have a lot of background noise or disruption. Please use the chat tool. Please ask questions. Please make comments. I'm going to be sharing those with Lisa as she shares. We want to know what you're thinking and what's important to you because that's what we're here for. It's called a You webinar because we're here to help you. So what I'm going to do, oh, Lisa just said I muted her. Sorry, Lisa. Is hand it on over to Victor so he can introduce himself and Lisa.
Okay. Thanks, Marguerite. This is Victor Clark. I'm the owner of Clark Incorporated, and like Marguerite said, over the past 12 months, Relaunch You and Clark Inc. has developed a great synergistic relationship, being partners, suppliers, and customers of each other, and we got together and decided we wanted to do a little bit different webinar. Typically what we do is talk about inbound and outbound marketing. Marguerite obviously focuses on the inbound part. We focus more on the outbound, kind of the printing, posters, banners, and things, but there's lots of inbound techniques you can use in your outbound marketing to create some integrated marketing. So we try to be our customers' hub for the design, creation, and distribution of their inbound and outbound marketing. So let me introduce Lisa Jackson. I've known Lisa for a while, but haven't been not a close relationship. But we got reintroduced back in the summertime, and we started talking and have a conversation about what she does. And the way we got reintroduced is a secret nobody knows about Lisa. She has a twin sister, of which I'm friends with, and Denise and Lisa, we got together at a party, and Lisa and I started talking, and I said to Marguerite, I think Lisa would be a great choice to do this webinar today. So let me introduce Lisa to you. Lisa's had multiple careers and juggled multiple roles in her life, from registered nurse to successful corporate business development and sales roles, business owner, and entrepreneur. Lisa has been a full-time working mother, a part-time working mother, and a stay-at-home mother for her 4 children who are all adults now. Lisa has helped herself, adult children, and clients navigate chronic, debilitating illnesses from stress such as cancer and autoimmune disease to addictions, and she intimately understands the challenges men and women face today managing parenting, marriage, challenging work environments, and aging parents. These stresses, along with our expectations, play a key role in aging and chronic disease, and Lisa's goal is to inspire wellness through solid and effective transformational solutions. Today in her 50s, Lisa feels and looks younger and more vibrant than she did in her 30s and 40s, and you'll see a picture or proof of that here in just a bit. Her goal is to help others look and feel their best of any age. Clients have described her as magical, a godsend, and life-changing. Lisa is a registered nurse, a certified health coach, and a registered yoga teacher. She is the author of the book, Savvy Secrets. She'll pop up here at the end. It's a great book. We'll talk about that. Savvy Secrets, Eat, Think, and Thrive, 7 Steps to Optimal Health. She has a small, exclusive private practice and loves to inspire wellness through speaking engagements and workshops and sharing Carpe Diem dance at every opportunity. She lives in the Washington, D.C. metro area, and she's got a free app for us here at the end that you can download to your site, and she will share that with us. So, Lisa, you're on.
Thank you so much for such a lovely introduction, Victor. And thank you, Marguerite and Victor, both for hosting this and giving us this opportunity to really focus on ourselves today, on self-care, because one of the best hacks is that we have to, if you want to be the best leader, the best parent, the best employer, employee, you've got to take care of yourself first, and I've learned this the hard way. So who doesn't want more energy? Who doesn't want less stress in their life? That's what we're going to talk about over the next few minutes is how do we do this? How do we look and feel our best? I do some individual coaching, and I've created a 7-step process. And congratulations, you are all taking the first step right here, being on this call, which is to begin and really take kind of time for yourself and an honest personal assessment. That's the first thing I do when I work with clients is where are you today and where do you want to go? And we will talk about some strategies to get there. The first hack I want to talk about is what Dr. Andrew Weil, who is kind of the father of integrative medicine, said when he spoke to Congress on healing health care. He asked, can everybody see my slides that are advancing?
Yep.
Okay, so you can see a picture here. He asked Congress, what do you think the most powerful medical intervention is? And maybe, Marguerite, you can open it up to see if anybody can guess that. Because that's going to be our first powerful life hack.
You know, it'd be great if you want to chat your answer, because that would be really super quick. Go ahead,
Okay.
throw it down there. Most powerful medical intervention.
Some of the common answers I get or guesses are food, nutrition, which is, yes, very important, especially as a nutritionist. Others might be water, drinking more water. We'll talk about that. But the most powerful medical intervention that you can do at any time in any place is breath. We can control whether we're in fight or flight or rest and repair by how we breathe. And even as a registered yoga teacher, I recognize when I'm in my training that I don't know how to breathe. I was born and raised in Washington. I'm this type A driven. I've had many roles. We all want to be better, do more. And we get, so our breath work is shallow into our chest. And then we talk fast when we get passionate, and we never take a breath. So I want to take 1 minute for everybody to uncross their legs. You're sitting at your desk. You can do this at the desk. You can do this when you're in the car, right before you're giving a talk yourself. I want you to put your hands on your lower belly. So if women have control top or tight jeans, just unbutton those jeans, put your hands on your lower belly, and take a big inhale to the count of 4, inhaling to the lower belly. And then hold it for about the count of 7. And then exhale slowly through the mouth to the count of 8. So inhale to the count of 4. Hold it. Then slowly exhale. And making sure when you inhale, you're inhaling down into the lower belly. Hold it. And then slowly exhale. Through the mouth. And do it one more time on your own. Inhale through the lower belly. Hold it. And then slowly exhale. And this actually stimulates the vagal nerve, which goes from your coccyx all the way up, and will help rest and repair. You can do this before you eat meals so you can better digest and absorb your meals. You can do this when you're feeling anxious, you're getting in a heated argument, you've got a tough client or partner discussion. Take a minute to breathe. It's the most powerful medical intervention we have. So a little bit more about me and why I've kind of earned the right to be on this call, and why I say my job is to help you feel and look your best at any age. You can see where I was at age 37 as a practicing RN, working with heart disease, cancers, diabetes, addictions. I had high blood pressure, I had high cholesterol, I had an autoimmune disease, and I was 35 pounds heavier than I am today. Today I have more energy, more vitality, I'm more productive, I've been able to create healthy habits, and really I rarely get sick, and when I do, I can jump right out of it. You know, if you never get sick, that can be a red flag because it means your immune system might not be working. It's how fast you can recover and repair from exercise and stressors. You know, healthcare is a major expense for both us as individuals as well as our businesses. So this is a business owners on this call. Really the most important thing you can do is take care of the most important people in your organization, which starts with yourself. And when you're the role model and the leader in healthy habits and healthcare, it creates a healthy work environment. Today, my blood pressure is normal, my cholesterol is normal, my autoimmune disease is at bay unless I'm eating the wrong foods that I'm still kind of healing from. And my nickname is the Energizer Bunny. You know, I've gone from a 10-12 to a 4-6, and people are always asking me my secret. And that's why I named my book Savvy Secrets, because optimal health should not be a secret. And I thank you for being here so I can share my story. The other thing that makes me so passionate is the State of the Union. If we continue our standard American diet and our lifestyle of full stress, never taking a breath, 1 out of 2 women, 1 out of 2 men born after 1980, and 1 out of 2.5 women born after 1980 will get cancer in our lifetime. And that's the age of my 4 adult children. This is my daughter who is, we went to the Grand Canyon in the middle of her cancer treatment program. I'm in Florida here today because my father-in-law had a melanoma scare, and I'm very passionate about teaching you how to prevent and heal and repair from these chronic diseases. And I've learned a lot, not only from my daughters, but myself as well as my clients. What are the biggest common mistakes that keep us from these healthy hacks? Is number 1, we don't know what we don't know, because we are constantly bombarded with marketing myths and misinformation from oftentimes well-meaning doctors who don't get nutrition in medical school. I, as a nurse, used to teach nutrition and taught, you know, to have a low-calorie, low-fat diets, and a lot of myths that we know today are really not true for optimal health. So I do lots of talks on everything from Health Begins When We Got to overcoming some of these marketing myths, and I'll give you a few of these hacks today. Or we may know what to do, but we have trouble staying on course. We're all human. And the biggest one is that we all have so many multiple demands. How do we prioritize our own self-care, especially when our businesses start to thrive and we get busier and busier? I have one new client, and that's exactly why she called me. She says, my business is about to take off like gangbusters, and I'm worried it's hard enough for me now to fit in my what I need to do for myself. So we're going to work together to make sure she is really taking care of herself first and foremost. The biggest, most common mistake is that we all think we have to be Superwoman or Superman. And as I say, all of my clients are Supermen and Superwomen. But it's a myth to think that we have to be Superman and Superwoman with these supernatural powers. And even if we could do it all by ourselves, why would we? We miss out on the opportunity to partner with folks like Marguerite and Victor. I so need them. You know, marketing, inbound, outbound, I don't even know the difference of what that means, is not my sweet spot. My sweet spot is coaching, speaking, writing, doing my craft of being in front of and working with clients. So handing off, where I'm not making any money trying to do the whole marketing thing, which I have done myself for the last 2 years, trying to do it myself, and that has raised my stress level beyond belief. So understanding where's your sweet spot, how do you live and breathe and work with energy and passion there, and partner and delegate what you're not good at. When I had my own, my last company, I had everybody do the book Strength Finders, where we all, it's a Gallup poll, 60 years of study, where we all recognize what our sweet spots are, and then we shared where we thought we fit into the organizational puzzle. So we have happy employees, we have happy individuals, and we're all working on our top, on all of our cylinders. And I often coach, I have a lot of high overachieving executives and professionals who may have hit a glass ceiling or may have hit a plateau, and I help them recognize what value they bring to the table, just articulating it, and then how to figure out what they want, ask for what they want, and then go get it. And that's a really beautiful piece of coaching. So per my book, you become what you eat, because food is a foundation. Food is either energizing and gives you more energy, or it leads you closer to death and deprivation and despair. So you become what you eat and what you absorb. You need a healthy gut for that. You become what you think. Often it's we'll talk about how thoughts can get in the way of what we want, and your actions determine your destiny. So we'll talk about specific examples of things that you can do. So my daughter gave me this sign, and I always laugh at it. You are what you eat, so don't be fast, cheap, easy, or fake. Well, we live in a fast food world, and we're all addicted to fast food, and good food does not have to be expensive, and it doesn't have to be hard to make. But it cannot be fake, and that's a problem. We have grown up with chemicals, preservatives, food that can sit on the shelf for a long time that the bugs won't even eat. It's not good for our gut. And so these foods take more energy, and they actually deplete the nutrients in your body that you need to have energy and thrive. So what is the biggest thing you can do to make a change in lowering your inflammation and your toxicity and stress level in your food is to add more healthy greens in your diet. And the best way to do it for busy professionals is to make a green smoothie in the morning. If you've seen, what's all the talk about green. I'm doing a little talk for Whole Foods, and I've got my 8-year-old volunteer from the audience with a big smile on his face and his smoothie mustache. He added a bunch of berries to make it red. Let your kids play with it. A lot of parents say, oh, well, my kids won't eat greens. Throw it all in a blender, chop it up, add some healthy fat and protein, and play with it, enjoy it. And if you make a smoothie that's not all sugar, that has enough healthy elements, it'll last you and satisfy you until noon for lunchtime. And it's quick, it's easy, it takes 5 minutes to make. And I have some recipes that are free to download on my website. I was invited to the ABC News before the holidays. They wanted to know, how did I lower my blood pressure and my cholesterol level and lose the weight, especially when I'm over 40 now, well over 40. What's my secret? So I made them a bunch of desserts, and these recipes, again, are on my website. the biggest problem is we're all addicted to sugar. And how do you kick those sugar and carb cravings that are going to cause us a high energy and then a fall? Well, we need to replace those empty carbs with nutrient-rich foods. So you can have chocolate pudding, but instead of having it laden with the chemicals and the sugar and dairy that might be adulterated and upset your stomach, I have a wonderful raw chocolate pudding that is made with avocado, healthy fat and protein. And it is to live for. People love it. Chia pudding, I've got a raw pumpkin pie here, and you can see some other desserts there. So one of the big myths about food, about eating for energy, is that this low-fat diet. Fat does not make you fat. Sugar makes you fat. So we can replace sugar with fat that's satisfying, that's delicious and creamy and craving. We're not only going to help lose weight and lower our cholesterol. Often it's the cholesterol-rich foods that can lower your blood cholesterol level. Cholesterol is a hormone that your body produces. So dietary cholesterol, limiting dietary cholesterol is an old myth that we just didn't know any better. I always say an avocado a day keeps the cravings away. When you're eating enough fat, you're not going to crave the junk. So here's a little salad that's mango, sweet, avocado, a little hemp seed, cilantro, and lime juice. And I can chop that up in 5 minutes probably, and then put it in a glass container and take it to work. When I added more fiber and I added more fat, my cholesterol came down to normal. Really big, healthy life hack. If you're concerned about this or have questions about this, schedule a discovery call with me. We can talk about it more. There's two kinds of fuel that fuel the body. We're talking about energy here. Glucose or fat. Now when you're burning glucose, if you stop by your coffee shop and you have coffee and donuts or a latte with sugar, it's like burning gasoline. It's really hot. You get that big jolt, but then it burns out really fast and it's gone. That's why your coffee and donuts, you might have it, 7:30 in the morning and you're starving by 9. And you're feeling brain fog, and you might have a headache, and you need, what do you go for? Many people go for another cup of coffee or another donut or another food that's further depleting the nutrients that you need. Whereas if you're having healthy fats and protein, it's like burning a log, wood on the fire. It burns longer and hotter. And if you want to be hot, if you want to have a fast metabolism, and I mean hot in a good way, if you want a metabolism and you want to burn off your fat, you need to eat fat and fuel that fire. Many of my clients aren't eating enough food. This isn't about diets and deprivation. It's about eating the right nutrient-rich food. Any questions, feel free to throw it in the chat box. I can see it here. Another hack, life hack for food is cook once and then eat it all week. Because who has time to be in the kitchen 3 times a day, 7 days a week? So I was doing cooking classes, superfoods classes at Living Social's Demo Kitchen in D.C. The top picture is me making my root vegetable and kale soup with garbanzo beans. Healthy rooted vegetables. It is. I served this at an event the other day, and several people said, this is the best soup I've ever had in my life. Satisfying, quick, easy. You can make a big pot of soup on a Sunday and freeze it and eat off of it all week. Same with like rice and beans. Chipotle, there's a reason it's like one of the top stock. It's quick, it's easy, it's cheap, and it's got B vitamins for stress and fiber and minerals. I love to do a big spinach frittata in a huge pan, and then again, you can chop it up and take it with you. Make a dinner the night before and take it for lunch the next day. This is my chia pudding. It can be breakfast, lunch, dinner, snack. Not dinner, but a snack or a breakfast or a bedtime treat. And that recipe's on my website too. People are always asking me, what do I eat when I'm traveling, though? And I'm traveling now, and I can tell you it can be a challenge because, especially if we're driving by car a distance, do not buy your food where you buy your gas. It's nothing but chemicals, preservatives, zapping your nutrients and causing highs and lows. I will fix my own little homemade muesli, and I'll bring it in a jar or a plastic bag that has, oatmeal, hemp seeds, chia seeds, nuts, healthy fats and proteins. I had a banana there that I chopped up in a paper bowl, and I have these utensils that I carry in a little pouch that are with me all the time, and you can pick up a thing of coconut or almond milk in the carton to pour, and it's a very satisfying, quick breakfast that's going to last me from my hotel room till lunch. I also can make some dehydrated breads and crackers here, and there's my avocado, my nuts, and my sprouts and greens. If you want to lower depression, clear your skin, have more energy, add the greens and the sprouts again to your diet. Throw them in a bag, and you can. It really is a superfood. Other quick 5-minute sandwiches, and this may look odd to you if you're used to the standard American diet. The top left is a nori sheet that you make sushi out of. You can get them in, the international section of the food stores, and they come in thin layers of sheets. I throw some smoked salmon, a little avocado if I want, or cucumber, or spring onions, and roll it up. I've got a hand roll, 5 minutes. If I need brain food to feel clear for a meeting, I have a little can with a flip-top lid of either sardines or trout or fish. It can be in marinara or olive oil, and it will completely satisfy that hunger, that brain food. Back to the healthy fat and protein. You can see I've made there's a cauliflower pizza cheese stick there, and a collard wrap with my Better Than Tuna. These are recipes for my book. Greens, we can't always get greens, so I buy and carry powdered greens that I can just mix in my glass bottle with water. A big hack is you should be drinking half of your body weight in water, and not with meals. You don't want to dilute your hydrochloric acid in your stomach for your meal. So instead of drinking a gob of water with meals, drink between meals. And don't drink water like for more than a half an hour before or a half an hour after meals. And just keep hydrated during the day. It will clear out toxins. It will elevate your mood. Oftentimes we're starving and we're hungry. We think we're hungry, but we're really thirsty. Most of us are dehydrated, especially in the summer, in the wintertime. It'll keep you more resistant to colds and flus, and will make you just that much more productive. And I always give my clients this glass water bottle with rubber filling, so if I drop it, it's safe. And I carry with me. And when I get through security, I fill it back up with water or my greens, and that reminds me to drink. That's a big hack. So as far as the food as a foundation, we need to have the right food to cleanse, detoxify, and give us the optimal nutrients we need. If you're in the right food, I do a 21-day kickstart program to help you kick your cravings. Just eat real food. Replace the sugar addictions with greens, whole foods, healthy fats. Discover what works for you. Learn how to eat on the road, because we want the 80-20 rule. We want 80% good food, and then, 20% is whatever. Make it simple. Drink clean filtered water. And then if you only just wrote down everything you ate for a week, you'd be more mindful of it. You would start to find your optimal weight. It's sometimes just being conscious. So stress and the nervous system. We are either, as I said, in fight or flight. On the left side, sympathetic nervous system is stimulated, or we're in rest and repair. You can't be both. And if we're in fight or flight, we're running, we're eating on the run, we're stressed, we're worried about our businesses. You can see physiologically our pupils dilate, we're sensitive to light, we can get migraines. We stop secreting saliva, so we're not digesting our food, so we're not getting the nutrients we need, which are produced in the stomach. Our bronchioles dilate, so we're more susceptible to the viruses that are on the airplane. Our heartbeat rate raises, our blood pressure raises. We've got adrenaline being secreted all the time, so we start to get adrenal fatigue. We're tired but wired, can't go to sleep at night, or we wake up at 3 in the morning. We decrease mobility, and so we become, what's the problem? Constipation is a really major problem because you're holding the toxins that should be excreted from your body, and they get reabsorbed in your bloodstream. So you become inflamed, toxic, and it leads to all kinds of chronic illness. If you practice this breath work, if you practice eliminating the foods that cause sensitivities or inflammation, everything's going to run smoothly. You're going to rest, repair, sleep well, digest your food. You can see how you can be on one vicious cycle versus the other.
I'd like to add to that there, Lisa. In personal experience, that's exactly what I've had to do over the past year in my life. Is I've had an immune challenge, and I had to eliminate a lot of food, very good food, unfortunately, some of it, because when your body starts reacting like in this negative way, and I'm talking like blueberries and bell peppers, in addition to all the other not so good for you, like no sugar, definitely. But what was happening before I started removing that from my system and my system was reacting negatively to it, I was having anxiety problems, and I've never had that in my life. And it was even to the point where I could tell it wasn't a mental issue, which I understand people struggle mentally sometimes with stress and anxiety, but my body was creating that because it was I think it was the sympathetic system was just on go, 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 go because of the food that I was putting in my body, because of the health challenge that had, come up due to exposure to, I don't really know exactly what it was, some sort of viral or bacterial thing. Mm-hmm. And after I started changing my diet and getting help, those symptoms of panic attacks and anxiety disappeared. And that was really awesome. It just made me feel like I had a way out.
Yeah, thank you so much for sharing that. And you just brought up a major point. There is no difference in the mind and the body. So there's not this delineation between psychiatric versus physical. It all starts in the gut, because 90% of your serotonin, your dopamine, your feel-good hormones are produced in the gut. If you have an inflamed gut, an unhealthy gut, a food sensitivity, or a foreign body that's causing this inflammation, you're not able to create your serotonin, and you get a deficit, and that's what causes anxiety and depression. Our B vitamins are created in the gut, and if we have an inflammation, the B vitamins are so essential not only for lowering stress and managing stress, but for the detox pathways for methylation. So it's this vicious cycle. So I do like an hour and a half assessment with people to look at everything in their life, and we start with the food and the stress, and we go into the, so they're connected. Nothing is ever separate. What happens in your stomach affects your hormones. So why is infertility on the rise? It affects your thyroid. We've got an epidemic of hyper and hypothyroidism. It affects your adrenals, which is a master gland controlling everything in your body. And your thoughts, which is a great entry to my next slide. Your thoughts could be that stimulating that sympathetic nervous system. So it is connected. It can be food, or it could be thoughts, or it could be a combination. When you're feeling anxious, you feel the butterflies in your stomach. You have more neurotransmitters in your stomach than you have in your brain. This is really new information from the last 10 years. So what you're thinking definitely determines your destiny. And we are not our thoughts, and we can learn to control our thoughts. We have to first be conscious of them. So we come into this world like a clean hard drive, or in this case a motherboard, that is clean. And for the first 5 years particularly, we are just downloading software, downloading stuff from our parents, from our culture, from the TV, and And this goes deep in our psyche, and we're not even aware of it. And you know how sometimes you're stressed too, you just keep ruminating the same thoughts over and over again. We have to learn how to defrag our brain like we defrag our hard drive, or we're like going to crash and burn. So I often ask my clients, you know, what to get in touch with, what I call ants, automatic negative thoughts, or what self-limiting beliefs you have that are keeping you stuck and that no longer serve you. I grew up, I always wanted to be a writer, and my father was a writer, and my father belly laughed at me that and told me I could never be a writer because I'm not disciplined enough and I'm not focused enough. I was the social butterfly. So I hired a coach in my 50s, and so I could become more disciplined and more focused. And here we have my book now. So, you know, recognizing the self-limiting thoughts or beliefs and say, do I want to own that today still? Can I never really write a book? No. I choose to forget about it and move on. And that's, again, where one of the most fun parts of my job is in coaching. So another big important part for a healthy life is, how do you get sleep? Do you know if you don't get enough sleep, you can actually create psychosis? And there have been a lot of sleep studies where they had to stop the studies because after keeping the graduate students up all night, they really got paranoid, they got psychotic, hearing and seeing things. Sleep is vital. That rest and repair is so vital. And if we don't have it, we are destined to get sick and chronically ill. So what affects our sleep? You know, to your point, Marguerite, we could be, once you get one food sensitivity and your stomach's inflamed, you're more likely to have more and more and more. So it might have started with maybe gluten or dairy, and then it went into your blueberries and your, what did you say, peppers.
Yeah, the nightshades. I mean, I've had to give up onions for like the last 4 months, and that's made me very sad.
Yeah. So the good news is, you know, a good coach can help work with you who really understands the GI system and how this works to heal the gut and close those leaky, permeable gut that's causing this these antibodies to get into your bloodstream, so that at some point you can bring in the foods. Sometimes it's 6 months to 2 years before you're fully healed, and you can eat certain foods, but sometimes it's not that long. It can be pretty quick. So diet is key to look at. I do nutrients, white blood cell nutrient testing on my clients, so we know exactly what nutrients are missing. I can guess with their symptoms pretty well, but we can also, we've got tests for that. Electromagnetic radiation, you know, how many of us are addicted to our cell phones and our iPads and our computers? It disrupts the light from the backlit of the screen, interferes with melatonin in your eyes. So if we're on our computer till 11 o'clock and then we wonder why we can't go to sleep till 1, that can be a key reason. Do not sleep with your cell phone. Keep it 6 or 8 feet away. Turn it off 2 hours before you want to go to bed. Stop the electronics, and you will reset your circadian rhythm to sleep deeper and better. Getting the right kind of exercise. You know, you do not want to run a marathon or you know, big, heavy aerobic exercise right before you go to sleep. Your body's going to be all revved up. Practicing breath work, meditation. You know, journaling is a great tool, either both at night and in the morning, to just clear your mind of what's on your mind that you might keep you up at night. Just put it all down, make a plan, let it go. And of course, finding the optimal weight can help with sleep apnea and everything else in your life. And the health coach, of course, can be key. I think it's a link in our healthcare system to help you achieve that. The last slide on you become what you think. Today, we're so used to wanting the quick fix. We're looking at only what's on the surface. We're treating the signs and the symptoms, but we're not looking at the whole person. when I work with somebody, it's not just what we eat, it's what we think, it's our relationships, it's our finances, it's our everything on in our life that we have to discover. And the biggest key for this slide is you've got an iceberg here, and you see how small the iceberg is on top of the ocean and how deep it is below. Recognizing that it's the same with our psyche. Going back to that hard drive picture, so much of our behavior is driven by our subconscious. It's below the surface. We're not even tuned in to the fact that I truly believed my father that I was undisciplined and unfocused and couldn't accomplish this. You know, what are the messages that are below the surface that you're not even aware of? And this, again, is where a good coach and developing a deeper relationship with yourself, giving yourself time and energy and space to really get to know what is it you're wanting and needing, what are your motivations, what's keeping you stuck, where are you self-sabotaging yourself, and why. How many people made New Year's resolutions this year? And how many people are already overwhelmed and falling short of all of the things they wanted to do? Or how many people make New Year's resolutions and then stop making them because it's just another excuse to beat ourselves up for what we're not doing? When you're in touch with your subconscious, then you can really, we can stop this. That's a way where we can recognize how we're self-sabotaging ourselves and move forward and really create the life of your dreams that's meaningful and full of joy. And the other thing is we are so used to this no pain, no gain mentality of feeling like one of the myths is that you just have to work harder to get to where you want to go. You know, we applaud Rudy, who was not working in a sweet spot when he wanted to play on the Notre Dame football field. That is not his sweet spot, and yet our society applauds somebody who's going to work hard to do the unsurmountable. Well, how do we instead work at what we're great at and let go of the rest? What can you surrender? You know, here we've got dolphins in the waves that are going with the flow. How do you have more joy and peace and stop fighting everything? So, and many of my clients, if they're faced with like cancer, you know, as a mother of children with cancer, there's nothing more fearful. And the fear itself, that is the cancer. It can be totally incapacitating. And instead of saying, what's wrong with me? Why did I get this illness? What did I do wrong? Recognize that signs and symptoms are the only way the body has to communicate with you. That migraine headache you have is the only way for the body to say, hey, stop doing something. Slow down. Find what's really meaningful. Stop eating those foods that are causing my migraines. Instead of treating ourselves that we have to be a survivor and fight, how do we turn fear into curiosity and love? The fact that the body is trying to communicate with us. Okay, these symptoms are telling me something. How do I treat myself with love and compassion and give myself a break? We often will say things to ourselves that we would never say to our children or our lovers or our best friend. You know, we get in a negative pattern instead of coaching and healthy habits are fun. They're enjoyable. They're motivating. And if you're not doing those motivating things, it's time to be open to trying something new. So what is the most meaningful gift that we can give not only to our children, but to ourselves? Think about it for a minute. What is it that our kids want from us more than anything? I mean, do they really want a piece of candy that's going to be gone in a minute or a toy that they're going to get bored with in a minute? They want your time and attention, and they want to feel valued. And in our society, it's very rare that we have a space where we can feel that we can be honest and open and be heard and develop this relationship with ourselves. And that's, again, what a good accountability buddy, a good friend, or a good coach can provide for you, is that space of time and attention. So a big hack is when you start feeling anxious or when you have a big decision to make, stop for a second and say, am I reacting out of fear or am I responding out of love? Because just like fight or flight and rest and repair, it's one or the other. Most of us find ourselves on a hamster wheel, working so hard because we're afraid we're not good enough, we don't have enough money, we're not young enough, pretty enough, whatever. And we're reacting out of fear instead of going, I'm doing this because I'm living my passion and I'm really excited about my job, my work, my business, and recognizing the need to take care of yourself first on the top of the list rather than at the bottom of the list. And we got just a few more minutes. So your actions do determine your destiny, and all of us start off with the best intentions. You know, we want to get from A to Z here. And the reality is we're going to hit bumps in the road. And so what do you do when you fall down? Find an accountability buddy. How many people would rather go walk or work out with a friend rather than by themselves? You know, we are back to that Superman, Superwoman analogy. We are not meant to be on this earth by ourselves. We're not meant to be Supermen and Superwomen. If we could have done it all by ourselves, we would have done it already because we're smart, we're intelligent. So nobody has all the answers. We don't have all the answers. Who can you partner with? Who can you find to help you go from where you want to be to where you want to go? Whether it's a coach for personal or business, whether it's Marguerite to help with the inbound marketing and Victor to help with the whole design, creation, distribution. I so wish I knew him a few years ago. I was working on all of this by myself and not making the money that I need to for the business, because we're trying to do it all. I'm trying to do it all myself. And then recognizing that we're all going to stray, that practice, not perfection. I always say good, better, best. We don't have to be perfect. We just have to put one foot forward in front of the other. And really, the tortoise wins the race. Less is more. Do one little change is going to make a big effect. If you took one healthy hack I've given you today and tried it for 2 weeks, then you're going to feel good, you're going to feel successful, and then the next week, try another healthy hack. That really is the success. That is how you have success. And that's where, a coach can keep you on that trail. Because, I cannot tell you how many of my clients will, when Thanksgiving comes, Christmas comes, the next call they'll say, I was really bad. I fell off the wagon. Well, congratulations. You're human. So what were the triggers and what can you do to recognize them, to lessen it, and maybe try again? We don't come out of the womb walking. Babies stand up, they fall. We learn to crawl before we walk. And it's the same thing for no matter what it is you want to accomplish in your life. So the biggest challenge I see to change goes back again to that Superman, Superwoman complex, that we have to be perfect, that we cannot show our vulnerability, especially in the business world. We have to be the perfect everything. And we acknowledge our vulnerability. It's often when we become human, it no longer controls us. They say what we resist persists. The things that we're most fearful for, if we just try and stuff it, it's bound to be a self-fulfilling prophecy until we actually face it. So how do you bring light into the darkness? You recognize what is your personal krypton. What is the fear that you have that's keeping you stuck? And if it's like in the case of those loved ones that I have that have cancer, if their fear is that nobody's ever survived this stage 4 cancer, and they believe that, then that fear is going to overcome them. If you believe, if you look at that fear and you say, is this always true? Has no one ever survived? And you go and find that, well, yes, it's not always true. There are a lot of cancer survivors, a lot of stage 4 cancer survivors that I've witnessed that have turned their life around with healthy diets and lifestyles and changes. What you believe is so important. And then getting the right support that will encourage you to change. Look at that word, encourage. Because it takes courage to face your fears, your worst case fear, and to try and do something new. It takes courage to resist that, pizza and beer if I have a gluten allergy, and to say, I'm going to make my cauliflower pizza instead, and I'm going to have something else. To go outside of the norm, to break the standard American diet, to break the cycle of no pain, no gain, no stress, takes courage. And it has to be fun. It has to be playful. It has to be joyful. This is the family retreat that we did with, this is my family here after my daughter's cancer treatment program. We all went and we played. We made green juice. We did team building. We threw our fears into the fireplace. We talked about what we wanted to bring into our lives, and then we talked about how we can support each other as a family. I do this also in the business world with team building. I've done this for families and then for corporations. So how do you recognize your strengths? How do you have more better communication, better team building? This is a ropes course. And how is it fun? Everything from exercise to food. It has to be fun. It has to taste good, or we're not going to stick with it. How many people have lost weight on these strict, ridiculous diets and then gained them back and gained more weight back, and a roller coaster? This has been 30 years of marketing myths about diets. And then we just have a few minutes left to talk about how to simplify our life. Less is more. How do you do more? Be better, do more. Sometimes it's to outsource, partner, or have some apps. Victor and Marguerite, you've got some favorite apps here.
Yeah, we sure do. Do you want me to kick it off, Victor?
Yeah, since why don't you do Push Bullet, Trello, and Keeper there?
All right. So I love apps. We all love apps. They appear everywhere now on our computers, on our browsers, on our phones, but the ones on our phones seem to be the ones that are most important. And I know that I use them all the time. Push Bullet is a particular favorite because it is an excellent way to push content, documents, files that you want from your phone to your computer. And it's an app that integrates in both systems. That way you don't have to keep emailing yourself every time you want to record something or save something or get something on your computer. So it's not just a favorite of mine. I've known a lot of people who really appreciate that app. Now, Trello is another super app that is both phone-based and computer-based, because everything has to be that way. It's project management, but in a fun way, because it's really picture-oriented. So if you like social media a lot in terms of the way it appeals visually, especially Pinterest, Trello is a great tool for doing that. You set up your team members, who's involved, you set up pictures and processes for executing. It's a great hack for the workplace, a great hack for your personal life if you've got projects around the house in addition to the marketing projects at work. And then Keeper, I guess I'm going backwards on like my favorite to most favorite. Keeper is my most favorite for passwords. We always lose them. I think I probably have 100 different passwords and usernames to memorize between clients and my personal life. I just can't keep it straight. I can't depend on my browser to remember it for me. Keeper is another platform that's multi-device friendly and a great way to manage my passwords if I should die, my husband can access all our financial accounts, and I don't have to worry about that. So those are my favorites.
Let me talk a little bit about Evernote and Refresh. Evernote's been out there for a while, and it's probably one of the most apps where it allows you to organize all your notes, photos, doodles, scrap paper, web searches. You can take pictures, put it all together, and you can share it across all platforms, whether it's your phone, your tablet, or your desktop. But the really cool thing about it is it's searchable content. So it will organize it all. You type in a keyword, and it will go find that content anywhere you in the Evernote app. The other one is Refresh, which is really helpful if you're in sales. To the point it's almost creepy, I think. You can go to Refresh, type in the prospect's name, and it will bring up every social media platform that they're on. It will tell you a lot about them, who they're connected with, even down to the point of their family members and those sorts of things, any articles and things they've written. So when you make that call, you're really well prepared and know who you're talking to and know a lot about them. So and they're both free. Even better, they're free. So Lisa, you got a couple here?
Yeah, Environmental Working Group. You know, people always ask me about organic. They have a list of the Dirty Dozen and the Clean 15. So what are the foods that have the most pesticides and chemicals on them versus what are fairly safe to eat? Like my favorite avocado is does not really have to be organic. Is one of the Cleaner 15. It means that there are not a lot of pesticides used in making it, in producing it. And safecosmetics.org is another, you know, our skin is one of our largest organs, and we absorb everything, you know, a lot of toxins from everything from sunscreen to makeup to shampoo and even these antibacterials that are everywhere. You're just pouring toxins in through your skin. Safe Cosmetics, you can actually, there's an app that you can do the barcode and it will tell you, rating it from 1 to 10 as far as in green, red, yellow, what on the safety and what tests have been done to whether there have been any testing on the product or not. And then, of course, my app is about, you know, how do we stay mindful of healthy hacks. I do a daily inspiration. I do events. You know, if you want to hear about more webinars like this, it's on my events. I have my little 3-5 minute yoga dance videos on there. I have recipes. There's a place for social media where we can share other healthy life hacks. So, you know, and here it is. It's free. You can download it on the internet. I really focus on food, fun, fitness, and fashion. Part of my daughter's recovery is finding her passion, and she's got some entertaining videos on that. And we all want to feel and look our best, and fashion is a piece of that too. So, you know, just in summary, begin is the first step for action. You know, commit to self-improvement and optimal productivity so you can best serve others. You know, understanding that less is more. Be kind. Treat yourself with the compassion that you would your family and friends, and be mindful to flip that switch from fight or flight to rest and repair. It's better to take a break and go do a 5-minute meditation or a little movement to music and then come back to your desk instead of beating yourself up to try and do more. Breath work, meditation, play, discovering your strengths, and delegating and outsourcing the rest are my little tips. So how can I offer support to anybody on this call? I offer individual and corporate coaching. I love to do motivational talks and workshops. I do have a 6-month personalized program that we co-create together based on what your goals are. And, you know, we meet on the phone for little digestible bites every 2 weeks so that before you know it, you've really won the race. Free app. And I've got, I offer seasonal 21-day Kickstart to Wellness programs. And I'm going to offer for those who are on this call, if you are interested in a consultation with me, I will give you a 50% discount. I am only taking a handful of clients I've got space for right now. So do call me for a free discovery call if you're at all interested in. It's 15, 20 minutes. We'll chat and see if we're a good fit, depending on what your goals are. And go to my website, download my free app and my recipes, send me an email. I'd love to hear back from you whether you found this helpful or useful. And I certainly want to thank you, Victor, and Marguerite for inviting me. And what's up for next month? Because I definitely want to be on the call next month,
Okay.
February 24th and 26th.
Yeah. You want me to jump in here, Marguerite?
Absolutely.
Next month, the topic is how to get started with marketing automation. We do these webinars the last Tuesday and Thursday of every month. So if you want, make a note in your calendar. It's 1:30, the last Tuesday and Thursday of every month. So next month will be the 24th and 26th. Along with the theme of hacks, marketing automation is a life hack to get things done faster, easier, and more organized. So if you're not familiar with the term, please join us next month, and we'll talk a little bit about marketing automation and how to improve the results of your marketing in a faster and much more easier way.
Nice.
Well, thank you guys for your time. Thank you, Lisa, for sharing. Victor, it's been fun. We'll see you guys again next month.
Okay, bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.